Hello, and thank you for watching Accelerate with Nerdio. In today's lesson, we're going to discuss reviewing FSLogix errors directly in Event Viewer. Please remember to check out the video description for any additional links or updates, and we do have a great link to our FSLogix default configuration there, as well as checking out help.nerdio.net for all of our videos and all of our articles. Let's go ahead and jump right in. So, what's our agenda today, right? Let's talk about any prerequisites needed to perform these tasks. Let's do a quick review of some of the FSLogix default settings, and then we'll do a demo of looking up those errors via Event Viewer. So, prerequisites, right? What do we need? Well, you'll likely need a domain admin account because we're going to discuss connecting to FSO1 or DCO1 to then remote view event logs. So access to one of those two servers. Keep in mind that by default, we don't set up any RDP access public facing. So you'll want to set up a rule in the firewall or use the generate RDP button in the NAP that will allow you to create a temporary and secure port open from your IP address. And then you'll want to understand profile concurrency, at least for our specific example today, and I'll discuss that a little more in just a moment. So, quick review, FSLogix Settings. We have detailed articles on FSLogix settings that we customize by default. Again, we do these following Microsoft's best practices. I do want to mention again, right, FSLogix is a Microsoft service. The only thing Nerdio really does is orchestrate the default rollout of it. You have complete control to manage, customize it once delivered, and you will want to work with Microsoft directly for support. I just like to point out here, I'm on a template, right? Template creates hosts and desktops. So anything on the template is what you're going to want to set so it'll show up in your desktops. And you can see under HK Local Machine, FSLogix Profiles, there's some default settings here, one of them being concurrency. And we're going to bring concurrency up in today's lesson because an error you may see pop up is going to be related to profile locked or unable to connect to profile. And so, if concurrency was set to a value other than 0, it would allow you to have multiple concurrent sessions trying to access that profile. What we tend to do is keep that at 0 because if you have multiple sessions accessing the profile, there can be delay, additional CPU utilization when trying to merge those changes. And again, our default configuration only allows a one-to-one assignment of a WVD resource to a user, so that profile should only need access from one single sign-in. You're welcome to make a change to that concurrency setting, and again, I would recommend further review before you change anything in the environment. But all of that is to say that here I went to log in as a user, and I see profile failed to attach. So this is really saying, hey, I can't get access to that profile either because it's already mounted or because there might be some kind of failure with the profile. And if you can't get access because it's already mounted, that is likely because concurrency is set to 0. And so you need to make sure you cleanly close that open session so that the user can create a new session. And so what do we do next once we see this type of error, right? Well, we're going to look at FSO1, and we're going to confirm if that user's profile is open or if they have a stale session. But we also want to look at FSLogix event logs, right? That was the goal with today's lesson. So I'm going to use this example here where it actually states the computer host it tried to connect to, right? So if I've got a pool, I have multiple hosts. So I want to look at the actual event logs on host pool-b 6 zeros. And so I'm going to accomplish this by going to FSO1. I'm going to open Computer Management. And what I'm using is FSO1 to be able to remotely manage that host. So that was pool-b and 6 zeros. If I can count them, there we go. And now we'll see we're connected to that host. And I can go to System Tools. I can go to Event Viewer, and I can start to drill down into those logs, right? So we'll expand that. We'll go to Application and Service Logs. That'll take just a moment to populate. And now we can see we've got FSLogix apps and operationals here where I'm going to go. So first we'll see we've got load profile failed, right? We've got that error right here. And if I go right here as well, I can see failed to open virtual disk. So the process cannot access the file because it's being used by another process. So that means the profile is locked and it's not allowing new connections. That is actually exactly what we want. So let's take a look at FSO1 now, right? We found the error. We're going to leave this computer and we're going to go back to FSO1, so local computer. And I want to take a look here at System Tools again, shared folders, And this is a common troubleshooting method for anything with profiles and FSLogix, right? If you can't get connected, let's look and see if there's an existing connection. And so I can see that I've got Andy here trying to connect to two different computers. He only has open files on one, which is likely his profile. So if we look at open files here, and we'll expand that out, I can see his profile is accessed and locked in this existing session. So what I want to do to resolve the issue is I'm actually going to close these open file sessions, and then I'm also going to make sure I've booted him off of any open sessions as well. So we'll close those sessions out. And so what this is doing is this is giving us a clean path of entry for Andy. Oh, let's see here. I think it's still logging those off, right? We want to make sure that completes. So let's refresh here. There we go. So everything's completely logged out. He should be able to connect. So again, what were our true goals today, right? One, make sure you understand how FSLogix is pre-configured and settings that could trigger an error for the user. This is detailed in the FSLogix guide that's going to be attached to this video. And again, definitely do the research, spend time with Microsoft if needed, understand their FSLogix product. But then the next thing is troubleshooting, right? Where do you go when troubleshooting? You go to Event Viewer. You see what's failing. You see the actual logs. And that can be done very easily by jumping on FS01, looking at the host that gave you the failure message, and then connecting to its logs. So as always, help.nerdio.net for additional information, and I appreciate you guys taking the time today to watch this video. Thank you so much.